Measurabl is a ESG data management software specifically built for commercial real estate. We're used by about 9 billion square feet or 850 million square meters of property in 75 countries to help them collect, quality assure, and disclose ESG data. And CORESTATE, I think, is one of the real examples of how we do this in partnership with our customers, because they have the on-the-ground operational expertise to know where the data is. We're at that point just a tool to bring this data out. And so in CORESTATE's business, you're looking at things like a large portfolio of assets, multi-tenants in those assets, each of which have their own unique circumstances. We've got to get utility data, regulatory data, certification data, not to mention project data, things that are being done to improve the assets, bring that up to the viewpoint of the executives at the portfolio level, and then ultimately out to the investors who are funding the portfolio and looking for superior returns. I think we've got two that I can point my finger at right now. One is that we have a lack of high data quality, what we'd call investment grade data quality. We're moving past the phase where there is no real information at all for folks to report, and to a phase of whether or not that information is credible and accurate and timely. This is a systemic issue in the business. It's one that we're keenly focused on, and our customers in turn as well. So I think data quality has really got to be the place where we all focus our time and energy so that we have enough operational information to make good decisions as real estate owners, and investors have enough high quality, trustworthy data to allocate capital effectively. I think the second one is the digital transformation. So for ESG to be successful, we need to move past a place where it is subjective, where it is a matter of opinion, and to a place where it is quantified. And to do that, we're going to need technology. We can't do that in spreadsheets or by telephone. The problem with that second piece, though, is that technology adoption is difficult for organizations, especially the real estate sector, relative to things like healthcare or telecoms or banking. Real estate is one of the last great industries to really make the transition to high tech. And that takes a tremendous amount of cultural change as well as a real revisiting of what the business is. And I think CORESTATE there has been a shining example, because they recognize that ESG is one core operating requirement. And like any core operating requirement, property management, leasing, they're going to bring technology to bear on that issue. So it's a start, but I think a lot of people have to follow your lead. Of course, there's maybe a couple of cliches I could use here. Data is destiny. You can't manage what you don't measure is another, right? And so those are the fundamental truths. The data is the starting point for any real informed conversation. So in your case, Eustace and his peers would never go to the executive team with a recommendation that wasn't supported by the data. That's the first step. In order to arrive at that recommendation, right, again, you have to have the data. So I think that this is the key piece, where for a long time in ESG, again, it was about the right thing to do or about the positioning of the brand, and now it's about operational excellence and access to capital. It's about the CEO and the CFO, and they're not going to make decisions that aren't driven by the data. Future of ESG in the real estate sector is, I think, to find new levers to create greater value. So imagine that once upon a time, the real estate universe was able to work and create value through a very narrow set of tools. The extent to which the property was leased up, the principal appreciation of that asset. Now imagine we took those set of tools and added 2 or 3 or 4 more, right? The extent to which the entity creates value through governance, through social inclusion, the extent to which the portfolio reduces impact on the environment and can get credit for that through better access to capital. These are whole new ways to create value for the portfolio. So I think that is really the key piece, is real estate professionals need to understand that ESG is not an anchor. It's more like a balloon lifting the portfolio up. And it's these different levers that we can now use to create value and compete and outcompete that we need to pay attention to.